I'm 80 years old, and if there's one thing I got wrong for most of my life, it's this. I thought I had more time than I actually did. Most people think that. Maybe you do too. You tell yourself life will start later, when things calm down, when you're ready, when everything lines up. I used to think the same way, but looking back now, that assumption quietly shapes almost every decision you make, and not in a good way. So, before you go any further with your day, there's something I think you should see clearly.
You probably say things like this to yourself. Once I finish this, then I'll take care of my health. Once I have enough money, then I'll travel. Once things settle down, then I'll finally live a little. It all sounds reasonable. I said the same things. We treat tomorrow like it's something solid, like it's just sitting there, waiting for us to arrive. But in my experience, it doesn't really work that way. Things get postponed, then pushed aside, and after a while, they just disappear. Now, I'm not here to give you some big life plan. What I want to do is simpler than that. I want to show you a few patterns I didn't notice until much later. The kind that quietly shape your life while you think you still have time. And more importantly, what you can still do differently. Starting now, not someday. Because most people don't realize this early enough. And by the time they do, a lot of their choices are already behind them. A lot of people live like they're in some kind of waiting period. You go to work, you watch the clock. You wait for the day to end. Then you wait for the weekend. Then you wait for a break, or a trip, or something different. There's always something you're waiting for. And in the meantime, your actual life is happening right there. That's not really living. It's more like putting your life on hold for long stretches of time and hoping you'll get it back later. Most people don't even notice it's happening. Years pass like that. Quietly. So, why do people stay stuck like this? Sometimes it's because they've already spent so much time on something. A job, a relationship, a path they chose years ago. You think, I've already put in so much. I can't just walk away now. I understand that feeling, but staying doesn't always fix it. Sometimes it just stretches the same problem over more years. It's not really about being prepared or unprepared. A lot of the time, it's just that change is messy, and people would rather deal with something familiar, even if it's not working anymore. But there's a cost to that too. It just shows up later. I had a friend, Matthew. We started working around the same time. He used to say, once things settle down, I'll take my family to Europe. Then it became, after this next milestone. Then, maybe next year. Years went by like that. Eventually, the business did well. He had the money, he had the time. But by then, things were different. His kids had grown up. They had their own lives. His wife wasn't really interested in that kind of trip anymore. They did go, eventually. But it wasn't the experience he had imagined all those years. I remember he told me once, very quietly, I thought I had more time to do this properly. At some point, your sense of time changes. You stop thinking of life as something long and open-ended. You notice it in smaller ways. How quickly a year goes by. How certain conversations just never happen. It's not panic. It's more like a quiet realization. That time was never as unlimited as you thought. And when you see that clearly, you start to make different choices. Not bigger ones, just more honest ones. So what do you do with that realization? From what I've seen and learned the hard way, it doesn't come down to some perfect plan. It's simpler than that. You stop pushing everything to later. If something matters, you move it a little bit forward today. You stop waiting until you feel completely ready. Because that feeling doesn't really arrive the way you expect. And over time, you start letting go of things that take more than they give. That might be habits, expectations, even people. None of this looks impressive. Most of it is small, but it changes how your days feel. And that adds up. At my age, you don't think about what you gained as much as you think about what you didn't do. Not everything, of course, but certain things stay with you. Moments you delayed. Things you meant to say. Life isn't just the big milestones. It's also the ordinary days you didn't pay attention to. That's what I've come to understand. So, if there's something you've been putting off, maybe don't wait too long. You might not need a perfect time. Just a real one.